All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. And again, as part of my seemingly never-ending quest to make it easier for students in the Rankin Technical College AWD-1000 Web Development Technologies and AWD-1111 Database-Driven Web Development classes, for them to understand the material that's in here, I've been going through creating a series of video presentations based on some of the ebooks by Mr. Flavio Copes. This is about my 6th attempt, as I've already done HTML, CSS, JavaScript, ES or ES5 to ES and React, which will probably end up being redone, but I'm in Node right now, and then I'm going to do Express. Now, this Node handbook is 189 pages, and I'm close to a quarter of the way through. All right. Now, they talked in here, I almost wish I would have just skipped this before, but it says how to make a Node.js CLI or a command line interface program interactive. So in other words, if we wanted to do this, if we put this in, this would say, what's your name? All right. And it would say, so if I put Jeff in there, it would say, hi, Jeff. All right. Now, is this a big thing? No. But you'll notice that what we're doing in here is we're saying const readline, so we're requiring readline to create our interface, and we're saying that our input is going to be using the standard input, which is the keyboard, and our output will be using standard output, which is our screen. All right, I believe that if I grab this, I'm going to try it because I have no idea if it's going to work or not, but let's see if we actually go in here. So I am in REPL right now. If I paste this and hit enter, all right, see, notice it said, what's your name? Okay, let me try it again. So let me clear Node. Now the bad thing, in fact, I'm going to go back here and I'm going to look back a few pages. Because again, I don't use REPL, not much at all. Okay, so I'm going back and looking through. Let's see. There it is. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go into here and I'm going to create a new file that I'm going to, oops, I don't want that. Let me get rid of that. I'm going to create a new file. Why is it doing that? I don't know. Let's see. New file. Here we go. And we're going to call it test.js. And I'm going to paste in all that stuff that we showed before. Okay? So there it is. I'm going to do a file save, and now I'm going to go into REPL again, and I'm going to say .load. Again, I've never tried this before, so test.js. So there's what's your name. I put in, oops, Jeff, and it says, hi, Jeff. Okay, you say, big deal. Well, just to show you that you can use this on the command line, I guess, more than anything else. All right. So that's a little bit from the command line interface. Expose functionality from a Node file using exports. Node has a built-in module system. A Node.js file can import functionality expressed by other Node.js files. When you want to import something, you use the require statement. What this is expecting right here is that typically I have a file here that's called library.js. And since I've got .star, it is in the same, for lack of better words, it is in the same location as where I currently am, in other words. So if that confuses you, and I'm sorry if it does, but for instance, if I went back to my server here, all right, I could put in there something like this if I wanted to. All right, so I could come in here and I could put another constant in here, and I could say const, and we call the other one test. I could say test equal require dot slash, notice it sees test. So now anything that was basically sent in that test will now be available, all right, in here. Now that's true, yet it's not true, so let's go on and find out what I just meant by that. So again, I just showed you how to import the functionality of the test.js file into my server.js file. All right. It says in this file, the functionality must be exposed before it can be imported by other files. Any other object or variable defined in there is private and not exposed to the outside world. Okay, this is what module.exports does or allows us to do. As it says there, when you assign an object or a function as a new exports property, that is the thing that's being exposed. And as such, it can be imported in other parts of your app. So in other words, you can create things in one file, export them, and then import them in and be able to use them in another file, which really will promote code reuse. All right, so let's take a look at this example that's right here. All right, so we've got this. So I'm going to grab this code that you see right here. I'm going to go into here, and in my test file, I don't need this one anymore. I'm going to put in that. So what am I doing in here? All right, I am declaring a car object. The car object's brand will be Ford. The car object's model will be Fiesta, and then I'm exporting it. Okay, so I just do a file, save. All right, now back in here, I'd already required that file. Look into another file, save. It's not really, should not matter. All right. Now that's one way of doing it. And that is, I've come in here and I've created a brand new object called car. And then I export it. Totally fine to do it that way. All right. The other thing that way we could have done it, I'm gonna comment this out, is we could have said here exports dot car like that. That's doing it directly. Okay. Now I'm going to pretend I didn't even do that because I would typically do it this way. Now what I want to show you though is now that I've done this, when I come back into my server file, and let's say I come back in here and I say car dot. All right. And I don't know, well, car dot brand, notice it recognizes the brand. So if I say in here, I don't know, something along the lines of, let's just grab this information that was right here. Okay, so I'm going to do my stuff that we put in here before. Okay, and I'm going to change this to the following. In fact, I'm going to make it text plain again. And we're going to see, I have no idea if this will work or not, but I don't know why it shouldn't. I'm going to come in here and use a template literal, and I'm going to say what was it in here? It was car brand and car model. The car brand is and the car model is Okay. And I think I need a paren in there because I think I had a paren. Yep. Okay. So let's save that. And we will again start this up. So let me clear this and say node server. Okay, it says that it's running, so it's not giving me any error messages. And I'm going to come back out again. Oh, not there. I'm going to come back out again in here. And I'm going to type in my http://localhost:3000. And notice the car brand is Ford and the car model is Fiesta. This is really big. And what I mean by that is we were able to go and create information in one file, export the information, all right, from the file, and then import it into another file. Now, what's the difference between doing it these two different ways? So in other words, what's the difference between this, all right, and so we could have done that in here. We could have created two variables. All right, we could have come in, for example, and we could have said const brand equal require dot slash items dot brand would have been fine, and const model equal require why did I put items in there? That should be test. All right, dot model. And I believe if we did it like that, we could just change this to brand and this to model. Let's change the sentence so it looks a little bit different. Okay, so the car brand is brand and the car model is model. I'm going to save this, come back to here. Let's stop the run, clear. Let's start the run again. Again, no error, which is always a good thing. And go back into our browser window and refresh. So now it's two sentences. The car brand is Ford and the car model is Fiesta. Now, when you do this stuff, you can do the exports directly, or you can do it the other way that we looked at, which was to assign the object to module.exports. What's the difference between them? The first, as they mentioned on the bottom of page 44, exposes the object it points to. The second exposes the properties of the objects. All right. Now, is that big a thing? Not really, because you probably pick a way of doing things, one that you're comfortable with, and that is the way you will do things. What does that mean? Personally, I don't think before what I just showed you, where am I? Right there. I don't think I've ever done it like this, where I came in here and did this. To me, that's just a little bit hard to look at and understand. All right, so I've always done it like this, where I would always just say, test.brand and test.model. All right. And we'll change this one more time to make sure it works. You don't have to change it like I'm doing, but every time I've changed it a little bit, so you should be able to tell the difference. I'm going to save this. Now I have to stop the run. There's a better way of doing it than what I'm showing you, but we haven't gotten there yet. Still running, still no error. That's a good thing. Refresh. Now notice the car brand, colons. Okay, so that works. All right. So the next big thing that's discussed in here is the Node Package Manager, all right, which is a beast into and of itself. So what I'm going to do is we are right there. I'm going to stop right here and we'll pick it up and start talking about the Node Package Manager in just a couple minutes.